Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing into a really foundational topic, general anatomy and physiology. But look, we are not just going to sit here and dryly read through a textbook, right? Instead, together, we're going to explore the human body, not just as this complex biological machine, but really as a beauty professional's ultimate canvas. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want to throw a challenge your way right off the bat. Why on earth does a hairstylist, an esthetician, or even a nail tech actually need to know about bones, muscles, and blood? Honestly, it might seem like total overkill if you're just popping in for a quick trim or a manicure, right? But here's the reality. Every single service in a salon relies heavily on this hidden biological architecture. You literally cannot master the canvas if you don't understand the materials it's made of.
So that brings us to Section 1, Beauty's Building Blocks, starting at the cellular level.
Because every salon service you can possibly imagine fundamentally starts right here, at the micro level. Think of the human cell like a microscopic manufacturing plant for the body. On the outside, you've got the cell membrane. That acts kind of like the factory walls and the security gates, deciding exactly what gets in and out. Inside, you have the cytoplasm, basically the bustling factory floor where all the real vital work happens. And right smack in the center, that's the nucleus. The nucleus is the boss. It's the central intelligence that dictates absolutely everything the cell does.
And here is where that tiny factory really goes to work, mitosis. It's the vital process where cells divide and reproduce into two identical cells. So you might be wondering, why do we actually care about mitosis in a salon? Well, I want you to realize that this cellular division is quite literally the biological mechanism of how your hair and nails grow. Think about that. Every single time you get a haircut, you are managing and styling the visible results of millions of microscopic mitotic divisions happening right on your scalp. Crazy, right? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it contrasts the different types of tissues these microscopic cells ultimately build. On the left, check out the stringy, kind of web-like structural nature of connective tissue. Its whole job is to bind, support, and protect the body. Now contrast that with the right side, the epithelial tissue. Do you see how tightly packed those cells are? They're almost like bricks in a wall. That's because epithelial tissue forms the protective covering on body surfaces, like your skin. Understanding the difference between the tissue that supports you and the tissue that protects you, that is absolutely essential when a professional is applying chemical treatments or doing massages.
Moving right along to Section 2, the skeletal framework, the structure beneath the surface.
Just look at the intricate geography of the cranial bones here. We've got the parietal, temporal, occipital, frontal, sphenoid, and ethmoid bones. A cosmetologist actually has to intimately understand this specific skeletal map. Why? Well, when you're getting a safe, really effective scalp treatment or a facial, the professional isn't just randomly rubbing your skin. They are carefully navigating these exact bone structures. Actually, even the precise shape and flow of a beautifully executed haircut is literally dictated by the underlying curvature of things like the parietal and occipital bones of the skull. Shifting our focus down to the hands, we find an equally complex framework. The carpus consists of 8 bones that make up your wrist. Then, you've got the 5 metacarpus bones in the palm, plus the 14 individual phalanges that make up your fingers. Connecting all of that up to the elbow are the radius and ulna. If a technician is delivering a high-quality, deeply relaxing manicure or a hand massage, knowing this specific structural map inside and out is absolutely essential for sure. Now, memorizing all those Latin bone names can definitely feel a bit intimidating, but this tasty little model of the hand's anatomy makes it so much easier. Look at this setup. We've got pretzel sticks acting as the phalanges and metacarpus of the fingers and palm. Then, we have fluffy white marshmallows representing that cluster of carpal bones right in the wrist. And finally, red licorice twists standing in for the radius and ulna of the forearm. It's just a brilliant, totally tactile way to make the complex anatomy of the hand incredibly easy to remember. I guarantee the next time you look at your own hand, you'll be visualizing marshmallows and pretzels. Okay, on to Section 3, muscles in motion, the mechanics of relaxation. So think about this for a second. Why does a really great scalp and neck massage at the salon feel so incredibly good? Well, it all comes down to muscle manipulation. We have 2 main muscle types, voluntary or striated muscles, which we actively control, like when you choose to smile or raise your arm. And then we have involuntary or non-striated muscles. These function completely automatically, like your heart beating or your digestive system. Cosmetologists focus their expertise specifically on manipulating those voluntary muscles, because those are the muscles that carry all our daily tension, our stress, and our facial expressions.
So how do they actually interact with and manipulate those voluntary muscles? Well, we can stimulate them through hand or mechanical massage, electric current therapy, infrared light, dry or moist heat, nerve impulses, and even certain chemical treatments. Listen, these aren't just dry medical textbook terms. These are the exact tools and techniques beauty professionals leverage every single day to physically relieve tension in your facial and scalp muscles. It's all about promoting deep relaxation and much better overall health.
But it's absolutely vital to remember that the muscular system isn't just about the client sitting in the chair. It provides mobility, stability, and posture for everyone. Proper posture and bodily stability are just as crucial for the cosmetologist who is standing on their feet behind that chair for 8 to 10 hours a day as they are for the client receiving the service. Understanding your own muscular mechanics, that is the real secret to a long, pain-free career in the beauty industry.
Which brings us to Section 4, Nerves and Circulation, the wiring and plumbing. Let's break down the nervous system hierarchy really quickly so we don't get bogged down in the terminology. We start right at the top with the central nervous system, or CNS. That is your brain and spinal cord, basically the ultimate command center. Then we step down to the peripheral nervous system, the PNS, which connects the outer parts of the body back to that central command. And finally, the autonomic nervous system, or ANS, handles all the involuntary, automatic functions we discussed earlier. By breaking it down like this, you can clearly visualize how the brain meticulously wires itself to the rest of the body.
Now, within that massive wiring network are two main pathways, acting kind of like a two-way street. Motor nerves carry the signal from your brain out to your muscles, telling them to move. But the sensory nerves, those are the exact pathways that transmit the physical sensations of touch, heat, cold, and pressure straight back to the brain. When you close your eyes and feel that incredible wave of relaxation during a salon treatment, you are directly experiencing your sensory nerves doing their job flawlessly. And this brilliantly illustrates where it all comes together into one cohesive organism. The circulatory system acts as the body's vital plumbing, with the heart pumping blood through a massive, really complex network of arteries and veins. This entire system delivers essential oxygen and nutrients to the very cells, tissues, and hair follicles we started talking about at the very beginning of this explainer. It literally nourishes the canvas from the inside out. Everything is connected. Which brings us to our final lingering thought. The next time you sit in a salon chair, will you see just a simple haircut, or will you see a masterpiece of anatomy? After journeying through the microscopic cells, mapping out the skeletal framework, understanding the muscular mechanics, and tracing the intricate wiring of the nervous and circulatory systems, well, I hope you have a profound, newfound respect for the extensive scientific expertise required in the cosmetology field. The beauty professional isn't just an artist, they are literally an applied anatomist. Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me.